What's up, y'all? How's it going? Hey, Kaiwan. Hey, Allison. How are y'all doing today? I hope you can hear me okay. Doo-doo. I'm a bit flustered. Our city's in mayhem because our hockey team has made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. My grandmother was cheering them on earlier as well. And I'm sure downtown is crazy right now. Man, it's so quiet when I don't have music on. I need to find music that's like not going to be super loud and be too distracting that I can put on here. Because it feels so bare without it for me. But I hope you guys had a good weekend. Happy Pride to anyone here that's LGBTQ. Myself included. But yeah, there's a few things to talk about today with GH from last week. I think I'm going to keep this live stream somewhat short just because I have some errands to run before a store closes. But it was a 4-day week, so I think I can get through it pretty quickly anyway and still kind of get to, all the things that we need to discuss today. But yeah, it's been an interesting week on GH, but I won't lie, like I'm having a hard time like watching because there's just so many cringe things. Is this a regular time? It's usually a half an hour before, but I was running behind because I was doing some spring cleaning today. Some much needed spring cleaning. So I was behind on kind of putting my notes together and everything. Usually it is a half an hour before. But yeah, it has been an okay week. Oh, happy birthday, Nathan. Oh, it's your birthday too. All right, we I know Angel's was just a few days ago as well. I have a game plan for Wednesday for both you and Angel then. But we'll talk about it after. It's all good, Angel. But yeah, welcome to GHMV, my GH After Show. As I was saying, I'm having a hard time enjoying GH lately. I think it's probably going to get a little bit more interesting given what happened at the end of Friday's episode. Spring cleaning. Yeah, I mean, it's spring and I'm cleaning. But yeah, it's I hate to say it, but like it's becoming pretty unwatchable for me. Like, it was an okay week generally speaking, but there's just so much that's frustrating about the show right now that it's making me not want to watch. Like, it's like, yeah, they can sprinkle in some like exciting stuff here and there, but when there's things wrong with like the fundamentals of the show, it's really jarring to have to sit through. And you see people acting out of character, and there's like more switches coming along the way. People are just, I don't know. The characters are not the characters that I know and love right now, and that's what makes it hard to like enjoy. It's just too distracting. But, I'll try to get through it as much as I can. I hope, obviously I hope GH pulls himself out of this because it's like, I don't know, something's got to give. Obviously, what the writers plan on doing is not working for the show. So, I don't know. Gemini gang. But yeah, let's kick things off with talking about Alexis, who or at least at the beginning of the week, was still in New York, having dinner at a diner that we've seen before as Liz and Finn's cabin, that we've also seen as a poor recreation of Luke and Laura's old diner from Vancouver that they went to during Tony Geary's last story. Fergus came up to her and started to say things like he thinks she was just playing the long game with her law license and hoping if enough time passed she could just get it back easily. And Alexis, well, she pointed out that even though she and Neil were close, he had never mentioned Fergus to her before, and wondered what that was about. And, he says something to the effect of, well, yeah, me and my brothers were estranged, as well as my father. I didn't know that I wouldn't have time to rectify it because you ruined their lives. And it's so weird that they're, Fergus is so, hell-bent on blaming Alexis for their deaths when it was literally Harmony and, Neil knowing too much about Harmony's secret. Hey, Jakarius, same to you, man. The writing is all over the place. You said, Angel. I said it before. If you want characters to change their views on people, you got to make it make sense without insulting the viewers, especially long-term viewers. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Who's my favorite LGBTGH character? Honestly, right now, it's Christina. They're the only ones that have her really being open and being on quite frequently, and of course Blaze too as a an addition since they're together. But I would have loved to see Lucas more and get to know him, and Felix and Brad, but we just don't see them, and they just don't want to show them. Also Terry as well. She is so underrated and so very little utilized, and it's frustrating. There's a scene straight out of Santa Barbara. You can see the writing. Well, they literally should have brought back Cameron instead of a new character. Well, they'd have to recast him, right? Because isn't William Lipton doing some new stuff now? Nathan, you said with Patrick Mulcahy out as co-head writer for GH, I doubt Fergus is sticking around, though he's not needed on the canvas anymore. I mean, he was never needed in the first place, realistically. Can they stop creating siblings family for Neil? Yeah, true. Come on, Brad's your favorite? Yeah, they need to use him more, too. He hasn't been on him forever. Alright. But yeah, so long story short, Fergus vows to make sure that she never gets her law license back, and he basically just leaves her to finish her meal, and then Alexis decides to call Gregory. Obviously, she didn't know that he had passed away, and Chase answered the phone, Gregory's phone, and told her the news. And I have to admit, Nancy Lee Grahn got to me a bit. I was teary-eyed. And she didn't have any dialogue. It was just the way that she reacted that you could just tell it, it hit her really hard. And she acted it well. And, just props to her for that. And the next day, we see her reunite with Finn as well. He opens up about how he found his dad dead in his bed and how he ended up drinking and how it got bad, and they mutually agreed that they'd start going to 2 meetings a day. Alexis even admitting to wanting to drink herself over the news, but she didn't. I don't know. But I did appreciate their scenes together and how they are really being each other's rock at this time. And then later, Alexis goes to Ava's gallery to confront her about being the person that threw her under the bus. And of course, Ava was the version of herself from a decade ago that suddenly exists again under this writing team. But she said she did it all for Julian because Alexis used him, even though Ava definitely wasn't super into her brother's choices at that point back then. Just a reminder, though, Julian literally tried to kill Alexis. And Alexis became an alcoholic because of him. Like, I'm just so frustrated with all of it. Lane Davies played Cameron Sr. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were. When you said Cameron, I automatically just jumped to Cameron, like Elizabeth's son. You think they're gonna be together? I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. Maybe since it's June, they might show the other LGBTQ characters other than Christina and Blaze. Sadly, I doubt it. I doubt it. I changed it from Kiefer's mom to Ava Jerome. Was it Kiefer's mom? You might be right, because I vaguely remember something about that, Kaiwan. Good evening, Dion in chat. Hope everyone is well tonight. Hope you're well too, Nikisha. But yeah, I'm just not here for all these character changes. I'm so over, like, just seeing Ava as this super villain without her, like, showing how she got back to that. It's just ridiculous. Hopefully it gets rectified once Elizabeth Cortez is on her own again. We'll see. I want to quickly talk about the scenes that occurred between Chase and Tracy. Last week, if you guys remember, I said that I was not moved by Josh Swickard's performance. He didn't wow me, is what I said, I think. But I have to admit, he did much better this week. And I guess that's because Jane Elliott brings the best out of people when she's working alongside them. No background music. Not today. I was in a bit of a rush. And I was already late, so I was like, I better just go live now. But yeah, let's see. What I was gonna say, we got to see. By the way, hey Albert. But yeah, we got to see into Chase's psyche a bit. We find out that he was blaming himself for his dad's death because he wanted him to officiate their wedding, which is something that I wish they brought up when Chase found out. That's something he should have straight up said to Brooklyn right after he found out that his dad died, and like for them to not bring that up, like until a couple days later, is somewhat annoying because it felt like Chase, it felt like they didn't care about Chase's point of view when, that's also Gregory's kid. Nikisha, you said, I'm over them acting like Chase is the Paw Patrol puppy. His character used to be so strong. He helped Willow grieve her baby. But now he's a toddler. Well, I mean, that's his dad, though, too. Oh, man. All right, but yeah. I as I was saying, though, Tracy goes into full on like wise beyond her years mode and points out that it was the wedding that that actually kept him going for longer than he probably would have if he didn't have that to focus on, which Chase didn't see that way for some reason. But I guess, when you're grieving, it's hard to sort of have things in perspective. And I kind of love the idea of Tracy kind of being like a surrogate mom to Chase right now. Since Jackie Templeton can't be bothered to show up to help her son through the grief. I said sons like Finn's her kid too, but he's not. But yeah, she couldn't be bothered to show up for the wedding. We haven't heard that she's even messaged him about losing his father either. It's just frustrating. But yeah, and then the next day, Diane reads Gregory's will to Finn and Chase. Gregory decided to name Chase as the executor of the will, which he was nervous about, taking responsibility of. But Diane reassured him that it's a very simple will. There's not much to it. He'll be fine. he names Alexis as his literary executor, and he left his estate to both Finn and Chase to divide it evenly, with the exception of the library, which will be Violet's when she's ready. Thought that was cute. And he also wants to be cremated and scattered in the park next to his favorite tree, which apparently Violet will know which one that is. So he's making it like an interactive experience. That's how he wants the memorial to be too, just like a small group of their closest family and friends, all just kind of celebrating his life and leaving him by his favorite tree and moving on with their lives. I mean, that'll be cute to watch, I guess. I'm sure we'll see Finn and Chase and Violet and Alexis and Tracy and Elizabeth. I don't know if anyone else will necessarily. Maybe Cody. Maybe the rest of the Qs. We'll see. Let's see. Where was I in my notes? All right. So yeah, the next day, he goes to GH. Chase goes to GH. Sorry. And he's getting copies of his dad's death certificates. And during that time, Elizabeth and him discuss what went down with Finn, what she went through the night that he was drinking. He reassures her that he won't ever drink again. But Elizabeth is a little bit weary about it, which I find interesting because when we did actually see Finn and Elizabeth discuss the next day what went down between them, she seemed a lot more like understanding towards him and was kind of like, I know that you've got this and I know you're a good person and all this other stuff, and just really reassuring him of all that. But she's clearly not reassured according to what the vibe that I got between her conversation with her and Chase. And also, like I said, I think Finn sincerely believes that he won't drink, and I think that Chase believes it and Elizabeth believes it. I just worry because the wild card of the situation is that Portia knows that he fell off the wagon, and I feel like she's going to be extra hard on him, and it's going to draw him to drink more. That's my worry about it, especially if she like suspends him for something. Like if he makes like a slip up, an error, and then was like, well, I heard you were back off the wagon or whatever, and then like suspends him or something. I think that'll drive him to drink if that happens. But we'll see. We shall see. Will I be watching and reviewing The Gates when it comes on? I'll watch the first episode for sure. Whether or not I review it, I don't know. I don't know if I would review it regularly. Like, I'm actually really excited that there is a new American soap coming on. And, I'm rooting for it, rather, to succeed because, if they can succeed being a new soap in the state of soaps right now, then there's hope for the rest of them, And GH is the only soap that I watch, but because this is like a brand new soap, I am actually really intrigued to see a soap from the beginning. Because, like, when is it going to happen again, realistically? We'll see. But yeah, as for like a full-on review, I don't know. It'll depend on if the show piques my interest enough. Nathan, you said for Liz to tell Portia that was not cool at all. I agree. Finn is going to be betrayed. That's true. Angel said Finn at least needs to be on bereavement mandatorily. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know why he's not taking time off from grieving his father. At the very least, he shouldn't be working because of that, even if he didn't drink. What are the soaps in your country, Canada, that I can watch? I mean, we don't have Canadian soaps. Like, not like in the sense of what soap, like what GH is like. There's no like 5 days a week soap made in Canada. We don't even have the budget to tell most primetime shows. We really just have your shows and a couple of Canadian shows here and there, but not a whole lot of them. Like Canadian television funding is frankly its ass. So like there's not a whole lot in our sort of repertoire. And a lot of them, the ones that we do have, they don't really hold my interest. You know, I think I've mentioned in the past that for a while, Original Jordan, Vanessa Antoine, had a series in Canada, and I tried to watch it, and I was not interested, and that was like a primetime show. But yeah, I just couldn't hold my interest, and there's not a whole lot of Canadian shows that do, honestly. The only Canadian show that I ever enjoyed was Canada's version of So You Think You Can Dance. We kicked American versions So You Think You Can Dance's ass, just because we were a lot more taboo with the choreography, because there was less censorship in Canada back when we did have it. But again, funding is ass, so it didn't last very long. But it was way better than like the American version, and also we had like a lot of the American judges show up to guest star in it, and they were just like shocked and amazed at how like risque the choreography could be. And like in the first season, Nico won. He was from Montreal, my hometown, so shout out to him. Digstown, yep. Yeah, when does it premiere? I heard January. Is that correct? The Gates? Let me know. But yeah, going back to GH, we were talking about Portia. I hope that she doesn't throw Elizabeth's confidence out the window and screws Finn over because of that. Because that's not cool. Like, she trusted her as her friend, and if she uses what she was told in confidence as a friend against Finn professionally, that's gonna suck. January, okay. But speaking of Portia, she and Curtis were absolutely livid when there was an article about Laura reopening Heather Weber's case, something that apparently was leaked to the press, and it led to a very awkward confrontation and conversation between Curtis and Laura. Long story short, he puts her on notice that he will fight her if she goes through with reopening the case. I mean, the shitty thing is, like, Laura's being thrown under the bus for another Franco tumor redux story. Only this time it's with his mother, whose main victim is still out there for her to go after. And, you know, it's not to say that I don't think that Heather's changed. She very well could have. They clearly went that direction with Cyrus, who's disappeared into thin air ever since he, went on the record about what Sonny did to him. But I don't know. I just hate that she's getting screwed over, and I just don't see them not having Heather eventually betray Laura. Or Laura's just going to lose all the people she cares about by being such an advocate for Heather for this. I don't think Heather Weber was a hook killer at all. I think they're going to change that storyline. Well, I don't think so, because she literally just spoke about how awful she feels about what she did. Like, she straight up said that she feels awful that she's killed those people. So we know she did it. There's no changing it after that. And, like, the new writers were already here when she was having that conversation. Angel, you said, I get Portia's dilemmas, but I wouldn't blame her for at least monitoring Finn. Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I can see her monitoring him. But I feel like, as soon as, like, I think what she's doing, how I think it's going to play out is, I think that she's going to give it a couple days until the shock of his father's death is over, and then she's just going to go in and be like, you need some time off. I heard that you were drinking. That's how I feel like she's going to play it, or that's how I'm worried about how she's going to play it, and that won't be fair. But I think that she has every right to monitor him. Or she'll, like, let it be known that she's aware, and that might hurt Finn and make him drink more, because he'll feel like Elizabeth doesn't have faith in him. We'll see. We'll see. Angel, you said Laura's irking my nerves right now. She didn't deserve merit from the beginning. Yeah, she's getting on my nerves too. It sucks. You'd think that Laura would have learned something by now after what happened with Esme. Like, yeah, Esme was turning into a good person, but like, I don't know. She got her memory back, and she had to have known that that could happen. Like, she should have been at least alert enough to pay attention when things start to change. Moving on, though, we got a bit of Spixie this week. We seen Spinelli in the supply closet in somewhere in GH's studio. Spinelli's house. Sam had asked him if he was still down to spy on the FBI with her, and Maxie walks in before he can give Sam an answer. And after Sam leaves, he opens up to Maxie about what the situation is. And while she isn't thrilled, she knows that this is important to Spinelli and gives her blessing, but tells him that he can't get caught because there's too much riding on this. You know, they're together as a family now, even more so now because later in the week, everyone pressures Spinelli to move in with Maxie, and then when they have a moment alone, Maxie was like, "I want you to move in too," and he does. It was great to see like all of them as a family, like Maxie and Georgie and James and Felicia, all there. I honestly, I was kind of hoping that we would see Mac. I feel like it's obviously coming soon. It's been a few weeks since they've made that post about him being back on set, but I expected it to be in those scenes. I thought he was going to walk in with them or something, but hopefully soon. How little we've seen Laura, Moore, and Spencer and actively trying to help Heather. Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Yeah. Here's hoping they fix things with all these characters, because when Laura's being written horribly, you know that something's wrong. Moving on though, here's a question for y'all. Carly has been spending time with two different men lately, Jagger and Brennan. One is a crook, and the other, honestly, is probably also a crook. It's still up to debate on that one. But for now, he's just an FBI agent. Carly got to share scenes with Brennan this week because, as you recall, he stabbed himself to get out of jail for a while. Anna had met up with him, and he made jokes about how he did it to have a chance to see Carly. You too, Albert. You too. But yeah, she does go to see Brennan when she finds out from Anna that that's what he said. And he gives her the whole "I'm bad for you" speech, and Carly does the "I decide what's good for me" speech. It's very classic Carly. But I also think she's trying to assess the situation with him to protect Jason too. Even if there's also a physical attraction there. I think they're trying to make them a new... Oh, you think that they're brothers? I don't know. I'm still not convinced that Jagger is Pikeman himself. Just a hunch, but I don't know. She didn't share scenes with Jagger this week, but Jagger and Brennan shared scenes together this week. He's definitely not a fan of Brennan, and he was ready to drag his ass out of GH to interrogate him. But Portia put her foot down on that front, releasing a patient too early, because, she's the chief of staff. So he had to cave on that one. Let's talk about Molly. She's been in the dark about what's going on with Christina. Christina was radio silent after, what happened with her father, which I get. But between TJ being on her about spending time with Sonny and Molly being the DA, I can see her logic in just trying to avoid them right now, especially when she's also still trying to process what happened with Sonny. Molly manages to pry it out of Blaze, though, which I'm sure Christina won't take kindly to once she finds out. And then Molly gets more information from Carly as well, which wasn't easy because even Carly knows what's likely to happen because she's the DA. Molly even asks for Alexis' advice over what she should do, and she's likely going to stay silent for the sake of the baby and Christina's health. But she also made it pretty clear that once the baby's born, she doesn't want the baby anywhere near Christina's drama. So I feel like the writing is on the wall for a custody battle. Like, Molly's going to make it hard, and Christina's going to take it personally. And just everything's going to blow up by the time that baby is born. Molly's also irking my nerves with the baby. Mm-hmm. Girl, just adopt a baby and get out Christina. True. It's going to be messy. All right, now I quickly want to talk about Sunny, since that's kind of like the main topic of what the thumbnail is. Jocelyn runs into Sunny outside while on her run and points out to Sunny that Dex won't be pressing charges because he wants to protect Christina and because Michael asked him not to. And that wakes Sunny up enough, to end his war with Dex without killing him, but he's still dead to him metaphorically, I guess. His war with Jason, however, is still raging on. Sunny goes to Jason and offers him a chance to sell his half of the coffee business. But Jason refuses and he tells this to Sunny, by the way, it's because Sunny's getting sloppy. And the coffee business was suffering, and it's the only thing preventing him from getting RICO charges and getting arrested. And Sunny just doesn't hear any of it because of this mess with his meds. And then not long after that, he goes to the Metro Court, talks to Carly about how he discussed things with Jason, and Jason made his choice, and what happens next is on him. And the next thing you know, we see Jason getting shot at the coffee warehouse. But I don't think it was Sunny, because it happened way too fast. Like, it felt like Sunny left the warehouse and almost immediately a person showed up to kill Jason before he even got to the Metro Court. Like, that was weird. I think it's probably Pikeman, but Sunny will likely get blamed for it because A, what Sunny's telling Carly, and B, what Sunny told Jason. Everyone thinks that Sunny is capable of going after Jason at this point, so he's going to be the first suspect, especially with, Anna knowing how he flew off the handle and beat the crap out of Dex. Dante knows that too. Like, there's a lot of people that know that, and they know that Jason was there. So I think, I don't know. It's going to be a mess for sure. But what do y'all think? Christina really doesn't have drama of her own. I know, but like that's how Molly sees it. I think Valentine sent that out for Jason. Yeah, Valentine is like essentially Pikeman at this point, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's for sure him. Yeah, everyone's assuming it's Valentine. Good. I'm glad we all see this. I'm glad we're on the same page with that, because I don't buy it that it was Sunny. I mean, I think that Sunny was probably planning to do something, probably kill Jason, but or even like mess up the business badly for both of them. I don't know. He was planning on doing something, but not this fast. Plus, I think Jason would recognize the men that Sunny would use to go after him. Or I think that Sunny would actually just go after him with a bullet on his own at this point because he's that unhinged. Oh, man. But yeah, that's all I have in my notes. Like I said, I'm keeping this one really short because I have to get going in a few minutes here if I need to get to a store on time before it closes. But for Wednesday, this is for you, Angel, and for you, Nathan. It is y'all's birthday Wednesday. So, I mean, your birthday is today and it's past, but you two are the closest birthdays. So I want y'all, if you can be here on Wednesday, to pick each a good scene for us to react to. As long as it's, again, before 2010, like an older scene that you guys want to personally react to. You can put it in the chat, I guess, for now, because I'm going to probably keep it going as I run to the store in a moment. Or keep it on my screen. But also, I'll like make a post about it later before I go to bed tonight. And just, in the community tab. And then if I didn't catch your comment there, you'll see that on the community tab. And you can tell me there what scenes you'd like to react to. Just like a special birthday treat for y'all. That's all I can do from here in Canada. Watch your choices. But yeah, I'm going to end it here so I can get to the store on time before it closes. And we'll hang out on Wednesday at the very least. You said, I hope Sonny isn't that stupid to mess with Jason like that quickly. Yeah, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, yeah, he's unhinged, but he's not like a god. Like, he's not going to find these people to go after him on a whim, and there's multiple people. Oh, Nicholas and Emily's wedding? Okay, noted. What about you, Nathan? Let me know. That's so kind. I mean, it gives us something to do, right? We keep it GH related, and it's kind of like your choice. It's a gift. But yeah, Nathan, let me know too if you have any ideas. You don't have to say it right away. You can just put it in the comments even later. My birthday ain't until the end of the year. Well, at the end of the year, you can get your choice too. I think I gave you a choice last time, right? On your birthday? I feel like I did. Sonny and Brendan, Puerto Rico. That's a good choice too. All right. So that's what we're going to watch Wednesday. Emily and Nicholas's wedding and scenes from Sonny and Brenda in Puerto Rico. I love that story, by the way, Nathan. I'm excited to watch that again. All right. But yeah, if you liked this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And I will catch you this Wednesday for Nathan and Angel's reaction choices. Have a good night. Have a good week. See y'all later.